everyone, it's Amanda with My Life, My Way. It is a live chat and a long overdue update. So if you're coming on later and you're not on live, feel free to skip ahead to the 2-minute mark. I usually just kind of hang out for the first 2 minutes just to like say hi to people. So if you're coming on later, you can absolutely skip it. I promise not to talk about anything important until that point, okay? So, yeah. Oh my goodness. Hi. How you guys doing today? I don't know who I have online yet. Once you pop online, say hi, tell me your name. Thank you. I love the hair. I got it done first week of January, and the colors held out amazingly well. Once you guys pop online, make sure you tell me your name and where you're from so I know who's online. I have no idea. I can't see who, I just know how many. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. Is nobody talking today? This is like a super quiet group today. We've got nobody online. Where'd you guys go? Hi guys. Oregon, Australia. Nice. Wyoming. Places I've heard of, never actually been to. I would love to go. Ooh, California would be nice. Nice something right now, anyways. Mississippi, Nebraska. Hey guys. How you guys all doing today? Are you guys at least having better weather than we are? Actually, you know what? I shouldn't complain. It's only 1 degree outside. Nice. Another from Wyoming. It's actually above freezing, and I'm in Canada. And it's February. So, like, we're actually not doing too good. Today's actually the worst day, like, all week. So, obviously, today's the day I'm going to video outdoors in my car. We literally had snow, like, as I was putting up the picture, and then it stopped because this is Alberta. And if you don't like the weather, like, wait, like, 5 minutes. It's going to change, do something else. It's just kind of overcast, kind of crappy, kind of windy here too. So, but it's actually not cold out, which is really, really nice. So anyways, for the update today, my nose is running. I'm sorry. It's that kind of year. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's been forever since we did an update. The last time I talked to you guys, last time I did a live update was like the first week of January. Oh, Houston, Texas. I heard you guys got snow. I heard you actually got more snow than we did. And I'm in Canada. I have friends of mine out in Odessa, Texas, and we were laughing hysterically at the pictures they put up. Anyways, but yeah, the last time I posted an update was the first week of January. It was actually just when I got my hair done, and it's still like hanging in there. So it's kind of like teal at the top, and like a blue in the middle, and then purple at the bottom. And some little girl in the Safeway told me it looked like mermaid hair, and I freaking love it. So that's the name that I'm calling it. My hairdresser was amazing. It was the first time I've ever used her. She actually came as a referral through the hairdresser I usually use. She came right to my house and did it. It was super reasonably priced. I mean, it wasn't cheap, but there's like 3 colors, and we had to bleach it, and like the price of it was super reasonable. And I love it. And people on the cruise ship loved it. Usually it's the first week of February. This year it was actually the second week of January. My husband and I go on an annual cruise every year, and it's a heavy metal festival on a boat. So there's 60 bands, everybody plays twice, 120 concerts, 4 days, 4 stages. It is freaking wild. We usually dock for 8 hours at a random port in the Caribbean. I mean, they pick it out. It's not like we just randomly go to one. But it changes every year. So we've been to Haiti twice, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos. This year was Mexico. We don't usually get off the boat. We did in Turks and Caicos because it was actually where we were going to go for our honeymoon. We got married until a friend of ours started talking about Aruba, and we actually changed our minds. So we got off in Turks and Caicos, did a little snorkeling, and had a lot of fun there. And I wasn't really planning on getting off in Mexico either, but they had an opportunity to go see Chichen Itza, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So we went. We figured we'd seen like the Incans on sort of South America on the western side. Why not go see the Mayans from sort of the north, sort of eastern side of that kind of area. It was really cool. We didn't have nearly as much time as I would have appreciated, but it was really neat. And we picked up a couple of fertility statues. So they use the moon goddess as their sort of queen of fertility. Every sort of ancient tradition has their own unique fertility goddess. So we picked up 2 of these little moon statues. I forgot to bring them in the car with me. They're in my house. I'll show you next time I do another live update or another video. But that's kind of like our thing. We kind of travel and we pick up fertility statues. It's kind of our deal, I guess. And we put them in the living room, so they're kind of nice and hanging out. And then what else happened? Oh yeah, so the cruise was amazing. Our friends were awesome. We got down to Florida, where it cruises out of Fort Lauderdale. Met up with a bunch of our friends. Not quite all of them, but most of our friends kind of meet up the night before the cruise, and we hang out at the bar and have dinner and drink until we're crazy. And catch back up, because some of these, like most of my friends that we go on this cruise with, the only time I see them in person is going down for this cruise. So it was super nice to see everybody. We had an awesome time. The first 3 days of the cruise were amazing. The 4th day of the cruise, we got up. My husband and I had a little bit of like entertainment for ourselves, and then, you know, without the TV on, you know what I'm catching it. Anyways, and I thought it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I thought he'd woken me up really early, and we didn't have a show to go till 11. And then I realized it was 10:30. I'm like, oh, damn it. He's like, well, I'm gonna jump in the shower. I'm like, all right. Hey, don't worry about being late. You didn't miss anything super exciting. So anyways, so he jumps in the shower on the 4th day of this cruise, on the last day. And while he's in the shower, I figured, like, I'll just get 20 minutes worth of an extra nap. Good to go. We'll get up. We'll go see some more shows this afternoon. And then the back pain started. And it came out of frickin' nowhere, guys. Like, we literally just had around an entertainment. We'd sat down. We planned out our day. All the shows we're going to go see. And by the time he gets out of the shower, I almost can't breathe. Like, I think I'm going to vomit. I thought I was going to crap myself. I was overheating and sweaty and gross, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and my husband thought I was faking it because I'd been fine. And then I'd wanted more of a nap, thinking it was earlier in the morning than it actually was, thinking I had more to sleep, and I didn't. And he thought I was faking it so that I could stay behind and sleep for a couple more hours, which is fair. In his defense, totally fair. Because I like having sleep, and it's my vacation too. But anyways, not the case. So he comes back like 3 hours later. He brings me up a couple sandwiches. He refilled his bottle full of water for me. And he gets up in the room, and I am still in a ton of pain. I haven't moved out of the bed. I haven't gotten dressed. I haven't nothing. And he's like, oh, maybe something is wrong. Because now it's like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I should be up and about, and I'm not. And I'm still in an immense amount of pain. I got 2 bites of the sandwich in and started throwing up. And he's like, oh, for sure, she's not faking. I hate throwing up. I will do everything in my power to just stay being nauseous, even though I know, like, having a stomach virus, I'll just feel better if I vomit. And I won't do it. Unless I can't hold it back. I hate it. So he knows now that I'm not faking. And now he feels terrible because he spent like 4 hours of the day thinking I'm just faking this back pain and this illness. This poor guy. And then I spent most of the rest of that day, like, in a fair amount of pain. It kind of, like, waxed and waned, where it would kind of come up and be super painful and then kind of drop. Thankfully, because we knew we were climbing Chichen Itza, and I thought there was more of a climb. They said in the details that it was more of, like, a moderate hike. So I packed Tylenol. My husband packed our Advil just in case, because those are our 2 sort of go-tos for pain medication. So we had those in, like, in the suitcases with us. So I started taking, like, Advil, and then you wait 2 hours, and then you take Tylenol, and then you wait 2 hours, and then you take Advil again, and you wait 2 hours. And you can kind of cycle like that. And I tell people that all the time, as a medic, too, that you can kind of do that to help yourself with any kind of pain, that kind of thing, where just Tylenol or just Advil's not cutting it. It didn't help a lot, but it did, like, cut at least, like, the hard edge off of it. The next day when we deboated? What was the word for that? Anyways, we disembarked. That's the word I was looking for. So we get off the boat. I'm feeling okay. I felt okay getting into our hotel and hanging out at the restaurant. We picked another restaurant. We went to go hang out at a bar with some more friends that were staying in a different hotel. And that seemed to all be good. And I felt okay. And then the back pain started back up again a little bit as we were sitting in the restaurant. And so I told my husband, I'm like, we better go before this, like, ramps up out of nowhere and gets more and more painful. So he was all good with that. We got in a cab, Ubered it back to our hotel. Everything was, like, relatively okay for the rest of the night. And I woke up in the morning about an hour before we had to get up to get onto the plane. And I literally laid on the floor of the bathroom for half an hour thinking I was going to throw up. Like, I was overheating and I was flushed and I was sweaty all over and I was super uncomfortable. It was awful. I'm like, what is happening? I'm pretty sure at this point that it's a kidney stone because it's sitting in the right side of my back. It's right in the flank pain, sort of mid-back area. Like, all right, this is probably a kidney stone. I've never thrown one before. It was a brand new experience. And of course I do it in international waters because why would you ever do something wild and different when you're at home with easy access to medical care? Because why not? So we had come home on the plane doing the same like Advil, Tylenol thing. I made it home. It was not great. I didn't eat for like half the day because the more nauseous or the more pain got, or the higher the pain got, the more nauseous I became, the more awful I felt. It's gross. Yeah. So we made it home. We slept for the night. I got up in the morning. I went to go see my family doctor. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm throwing a kidney stone. Told him what's going on. He's like, yeah, no, that sounds pretty kidney stone-ish. You're probably right. He sent me for some blood work. He gave me a prescription for Toradol, which is an anti-inflammatory that's used pretty specifically for things like renal colic and kidney stones and that kind of thing. And then sent me home. And so we did the blood work and the urine test. I couldn't see any urine in the blood. They could see urine. So it was microscopic, but it was there, which sort of like kind of affirmates that it's probably a kidney stone. He sent me for an ultrasound. They didn't see anything on the ultrasound, which just meant it probably wasn't in my bladder anymore by that point because they have a hard time seeing the ureters with an ultrasound. It's not really something you can really see with it. Just limits technology, right? So anyways, we stayed home doing the Toradol thing for like 2 or 3 more days, still in an immense amount of pain. And by like day number 3, I was in so much pain by the end of the evening, even with the Toradol on board and everything else. I also took Tylenol and I wasn't going to be able to get to sleep. I was in so much pain, like I was writhing with it. So I woke my husband up as he was napping on the couch beside me. I was like, we gotta go, dude. I gotta go somewhere. There's gotta be better pain management. I can't do this. I can't even sleep tonight. So we got in. There's a tiny little hospital that's just behind me, actually, by about, 20 blocks that way. And it's like a mini hospital in our city's epicenter. It's made for people with like more minor injuries, that kind of stuff. And I figured, you know what, like at least I won't be waiting 6 hours to see a doctor when I'm already in enough pain I can't sleep. So I got in relatively quickly. And the doctor's like, okay, so it sounds like renal colic. He's like, you didn't see anything on your ultrasound, doesn't mean it's not there. So we're going to do an x-ray. I'm going to send you guys, and we'll kind of see what goes on, and I'm going to give you a shot of Toradol. Like, I already took Toradol. Apparently, oral Toradol isn't as great as the injectable stuff. All right, let's give that a shot. So he injects me with Toradol. Dude, it was the most pain-free time I'd had for like a solid 8 hours, and it was so beautiful. It's only an anti-inflammatory. It's not actually a painkiller. It's not actually a lot of things. It's just a huge sort of, it's like a bigger, badder version of Advil, but really specific for renal colic. And I felt beautiful. I was sitting up in the chair for the first time. I wasn't writhing in pain anymore. They didn't see anything on the x-ray, which, I mean, whatever, what are you going to do? So he wanted to send me for a CT just to verify that it was a stone causing all these problems. And my kidney function, because my kidney function had been affected, they did some blood work at the hospital, and it wasn't where they wanted it to be. So he wants to make sure that it is only a kidney stone, but because we haven't visualized it yet, there's no confirmation there. And he wanted to kind of make sure it was a kidney stone, because if it's not a kidney stone, but my kidney function's been affected, then we need to start going down the list of, okay, what else could be causing what's going on? All right, not a big deal. So, hold on, I need coffee. Oh my God, it's so good. Literally what makes my world go around is more coffee. Anyways, so yeah. So he sent me to the bigger hospital that morning. I got like a 3-hour nap in at my house between leaving the little hospital and having to go to the big hospital for the CT scan. And it was the best 3 hours of sleep, guys, I've had in a long time. Oh, it's so beautiful to not have any pain when you've been in pain for like 5 days solid. So anyways, so we went to the bigger hospital, and did the CT, and then we had to go back and sit and emerge and wait for the results to come in. They got me into a bed relatively quickly. I have never seen the Alex The Royal Alex is the hospital that's there, the Royal Alexandria Hospital. I've never seen the waiting room so empty in like my entire career. I work as a paramedic. I'm in another all the time. Never seen it that empty. I was like, what happened to all the people? Like, has there been an apocalypse I was not aware of? It was so empty. But anyways, they got us into a room relatively quickly. And so we were waiting on the CT results. They came back a little while later with, what was it? Oh, they redid my kidney function too, and the kidney function was still down. And so the doctor came in and she's like, okay, so here's the deal. Your, before I found out what was going on, they came in with an ultrasound tech. Not a tech, sorry. They were doing bedside ultrasounds with the doctor that was there and 2 interns, like 2 medical students. And they asked if they could do a bedside ultrasound. And what they're looking for, generally speaking, is to make sure that your aorta, which is the big artery that runs from your heart basically all the way down, and it like keeps splitting off and eventually splits off and goes down to your femoral arteries in your leg. So it's a big mamma jamma. Every once in a while people get an aneurysm in there and it like blows apart. And if it hasn't like blown and killed you already, it leads to like this tearing, very nasty pain. It can even lead to like back pain, all kinds of stuff. And so they have like a little tiny mini ultrasound machine with this itty bitty wand, and they wanted to just kind of do a quick check of aortas, because the way to learn is to see them when they look normal, so that if somebody comes in and they have an aorta tear or an aneurysm or something like that, you can at least see that something is abnormal. So anyways, I was like, yeah, go ahead, no big deal. And I told the girl, the female doctor that was supervising the other 2 medical students, that I have a kidney stone. That's why I'm in the hospital, because she was asking me some questions and just kind of checking to see how my day was going and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, oh my God, like if you have a kidney stone, you're in that much pain, do you want us to just stop? I'm like, no, because it didn't actually hurt to push on. It just hurts all the time. Like it didn't change anything if you touched it. So whatever. So I just let him have at it. Why not? So they checked out my aorta, which is fine. Not that anyone was expecting anything wrong with it, just it was kind of cool. They even angled it so I could see it, and we were having a conversation about it. And then because I have a renal issue, she's like, well, we might as well check the kidneys. So she checks the kidney on my injured side and goes, oh, okay. And then has the medical student, look at my kidney on my unaffected side. And I was looking at them like, that looked different. And then she goes, yeah. So she goes back to the like kidney stone query section of my body. And she was showing me how much fluid was sitting in my kidney. I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. And the actual doctor that was there at the med students was like, yeah. So I wouldn't even call that like mild hydro, which means fluid. She's like, I would actually classify that as moderate. I had a crap ton of fluid backing up into my kidneys. And not like 20 minutes later, my doctor comes back in and says, we did actually find a kidney stone, but the kidney stone is 6 mils. 6 mils is like, I got fat fingers. If you got like small fingers, it's probably like half the size, half the width of my fingertip is about 6 mils. I have no idea what that equates out into inches. I have no idea. But it is like, it looks really small on the camera. Does that look much bigger? It is fairly large. Passable, but not pleasantly so. And it was not in my kidney anymore, and it was almost to my bladder. And she's like, at this point, there's not really a lot we can do about the kidney stone. It's kind of just going to have to do its own deal. All right, that's fair. But what do we do now? Because my problem is I'm still in an immense amount of pain. And she's like, well, we can't give you Toradol anymore because your kidneys have been affected, and Toradol cycles through your kidneys. Oh, okay. Got a plan B. So they sent me home on narcotics, guys. They gave me Hydromorph, known as Dilaudid. And the prescription just said like 1 to 2 pills every 4 to 6 hours. Like, oh, good. So she gave me one at the hospital. And one took the pain from like, I think it was sitting at a 6 back down to like a 2. Totally reasonable for me. I can do a 2. I can even sleep through a 2. So usually like I woke up in the morning and the pain would be okay. And about like mid-afternoon getting into the evening, the pain would start to ramp up. So I'd take 1. And then before bed, I'd take one more. Most days. It helped me at least sleep, and I could at least function. But I wasn't taking enough that I felt like drunk and intoxicated, because I spent most of my time chilling out, watching more YouTube, and cross-stitching. That's what I did a lot of. You take too much Dilaudid, probably not going to cross-stitch anymore, and then I'm just negated down to, hey, watch some more TV. There's only so much Netflix in the world, guys. I ran out of Netflix. So I've been YouTubing a lot. Like a lot. I like watching royalty soaps, but I've seen like all of the old ones because I binge watched her and the Hydraulic Press channel when we were in Europe last year. So, and I've kept up, so there's nothing really new to see on her channel for me. We watched a lot of a guy called Nick Simetti. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this guy. He is out of the UK, and he is a maker. So he does like wood and resin and turning and that kind of stuff to make pots and bowls and all kinds of just random sort of bizarre things. I really love it. Who else have I been watching? Oh, a lot of 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. This is like a UK thing. I don't know if anybody from the UK is following me. I didn't see anybody pop up and say they were from the UK, but I do know I have followers out there. And my husband found it through his brother. I don't know how he found it. But so Countdown is a game show in the UK, and it's actually for extremely intelligent people. And they have a numbers game and a words game, and it's sort of a points thing. And then they have 2 teams that kind of pitch themselves against each other. In the 8 out of 10 Cats, 8 out of 10 Cats in the UK is a comedic sort of version of it. So they have stand-up comics. It's hosted by Jimmy Carr, and then there's 2 teams of 2 stand-up comedians, and they run the same game show, but it's wildly more inappropriate. Like, it's definitely like nighttime adult kind of TV, and we've been killing ourselves laughing over it. It's at least like the game is still intelligent. They give you like a bunch of letters, and it's sort of like Boggle, where you have to like figure out the longest word you can find with it. And anyways, if you get a chance, watch a little bit of it. It's hilarious. Watch the 8 out of 10 Cats version. I have no idea what the original Countdown version even looks like. Not a clue. I just know the setup is the same. I can only imagine it's more boring and probably more appropriate. That's all I can imagine. And then the other day, I think like the last couple of days of my kidney stone sort of making its way down, I started watching somebody called Evan and Caitlin, I think is who they are. Evan and Caitlin. And they're also makers. They live in Texas. And they make all kinds of stuff. And I've been watching everything from like their garage reno to like them making different art pieces and that kind of stuff. And they make some really phenomenal stuff. I don't know. I've just been binge watching all of that kind of thing. So, yeah. I think the kidney stone moved out about 10 days ago now, which has been lovely. I'm going to go back to work, which I'm super excited about. I teach this Tuesday. Back on call for the ambulance. I haven't picked up a shift yet, but I want to. I miss it. I haven't seen anybody in a while. And then yesterday we started ripping apart our basement because why not? My basement, I don't know if we've ever talked about this on this channel, is a disaster. My husband used to have a roommate that lived downstairs with a cat, and his cat peed all over everything. And I came home one day, because I used to work in an ambulance service out of town, and I came home from working, and apparently my husband had walked downstairs when it was kind of humid outside, so it's kind of humid in the house and kind of moist and stuff, and it like just added to the amount of smell in the basement. And he just looked at the walls and went, nope, this is coming down today, and just tore all the walls out. He'd already pulled the carpet out, or most of the carpet out, a couple of years before when he'd flooded out the basement, or when his roommate maybe first moved out. I don't know. It was way before me. I think 2 years ago, he managed to put up the drywall and mud it and tape it himself and then paint it, and it looks gorgeous. And that's the way it's sat ever since. So we got in touch with a buddy of mine. If you live in Edmonton, he's got a website, or he's on Facebook, I guess. It's YEG Urban Decor, I think, or YEG Decor. Look him up. He's fantastic. He built me a box, like a raised gardening bed that I can do. I'm going to grow vegetables and herbs in this summer, which I'm super stoked about. And he built us like we have a bar downstairs that was there before we got the house. So my husband has been just redoing it. But he built us some built-ins to like kind of cover everything up and look really nice. It's been kind of a bit of a cluster. He was supposed to get it done a couple weeks ago, and then somebody drove through his fence and just destroyed out his yard. Just drove right through. He put up pictures on Facebook going, what? You can see like the tire tracks all the way through the snow. Like it was not sneaky on what happened. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he was drunk. It was not my friend that drove through the garage or through the fence. I don't know if the guy was driving was drunk. But anyway, so he came in this morning. He knocked the rest of it out except for the toe board because we're going to put the flooring down. We talked to some people down at Action Flooring this week. We got our flooring all picked out. We paid the deposit on the flooring. And they're going to give us a timeline on Monday for when that's all going to go down. We got carpets going in. Some, it looks like tile, but it's actually laminate. Right? I think that's how it works. Looks like tile, actually laminate. And all our stairs are getting redone as well as our front and back entryways because they're destroyed. There are pieces of they had that peel and stick vinyl stuff, you know what I'm talking about? Like the foot-by-foot squares that are like self-adhesive. The guy that lived there before us, like stuck them all in. And I swear to God, there are some of them that are held on because the runner on the edge of the stair is holding them up. Like you poke them and they literally like float back and then fall back against the thing. Like there's nothing holding them on. As soon as I pulled up the toe board, it's going to be gone. So yeah, so that's fun. So we tore up the flooring in the basement together, which was more of a pain in the butt than I thought it was going to be. So we knew the guy before my husband had vinyl floored the floor with these square 1 foot by 1 foot adhesive tiles, different ones than he used upstairs or on the staircase, and then carpeted over top of it with really crappy carpet. And he found that out because when he ripped up the living room, he pulled up the carpet and the tile. And there was like 6 feet maybe by like 3 feet, where this guy decided all of a sudden, I'm going to use like outdoor black adhesive on this stuff. Or maybe that's what he started with and then realized you didn't actually need that because they're self-adhering tiles and you don't need to add any glue to them. I'm not really sure. But it's like black outdoor, like super durable adhesive crap. And it took my husband forever to pull it up out of the living room. And we go to pull what little of it is out of sort of the hallway and then into the utility room. And it's that same adhesive black crap under most of it. Like, what happened? So we pulled up the carpet, pulled off most of that, and then I get to like just the bottom of the staircase, and there's a piece of old linoleum, like roll linoleum, under the square tiles that he put down with outdoor freaking adhesive. So we didn't even like pull up the original lino. What is happening in this house? Oh my God. So we got it all pulled up. Our basement's all pulled apart. The flooring people are going to come in. And my job is going to be how to figure out how to unattach a washer and dryer by myself. Which I don't know how to do. So that's going to be an adventure for me. Another day. Probably in a couple weeks. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, it's been like 28 minutes worth of an update. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm glad that you got this update. I'm really glad you guys came out and said hi, and followed along with all the updates and everything that's been kind of going on. I'm going to try and keep it more regular, but kidney stone accepting. See how this goes. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me. The kidney stone kind of knocked out our ability to procreate on the last cycle, and probably this cycle as well. So I guess next cycle we'll try again. And we've come up with some maybe plans for that. I'll update you guys a little later on kind of where we're going to go with more of the fertility treatments and all that kind of jazz. Probably try next month. We'll leave that for another update. We'll do that another day. I just wanted to tell you guys what's all been going on and all that kind of stuff, and tell you I love you and I miss you. Thanks for popping on, and I hope you guys are having a lovely day, and I hope you guys are keeping warm, and I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.